So we've seen a lot of The Chosen Season 5 behind the scenes for the last several months, and of course through the filming and now the post-production. We're beginning to see some of these scenes come out last week, which some of those scenes were a little bit controversial. We'll talk about that in another video. But in this scene, actually the most controversial scene with Judas and Jesus, we see this particular set right here. Now, this set is really beautiful. It's really well done, and it's a house that we've seen a lot in the behind the scenes, right? It's this beautiful garden in the middle of this atrium where the rest of the rooms are used as housing for the rest of the guests, right? One thing that we noted about this is that it's very Roman, right? We see a lot of Roman iconography and Roman statues. This is not a Jewish place of living, right? Even though Jesus and the boys, actually the whole crew, the girls are staying here as well, seem to be staying here in Jerusalem during the time, but we don't know who owns this house. It doesn't seem to be Joanna's, and it seems like there's something else kind of going on here. Remember, Joanna would have lived in Machaerus. While she probably would have had some place to stay in Jerusalem, this was not most likely her house, which is what we've been saying this whole time. So we've never really known whose house this is until recently. There was someone who works for The Chosen, obviously, on the set of The Chosen, who said whose house this is. So this says, love these screenshots from the live stream last night. I love how Phoebe's home came to life thanks to Akis and Dallas. Beautiful work, gents. So here's what that says here. So this is Phoebe's home, referencing this picture up top, of course, which is the house that we were just looking at in this section here. Now, who is Phoebe? This is a great question. Is this a biblical character or is this some other sort of thing? Here's my theory about all of this. My theory for a while has been that this house is somehow connected to Joanna, but it's not her own. I think that this is a friend of Joanna's, basically, that is letting them use their home either while she's out of town or maybe she's just letting them stay there because they needed a place to stay and she trusts Joanna. There's a lot of different things that could be happening here, but that's my theory overall. But is Phoebe a biblical character? Is it someone that we should be paying attention to? There's one verse that maybe suggests that she could be a biblical character, and that would be Romans chapter 16. Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying this content and you want to see us making more stuff just like this, then the best way to support us is through snipesupport.com. You can pledge $5, $10, or $25 a month in order to help us to continue making content just like this, regardless of how YouTube treats us or how many people they send it out to. It really, really helps. And on top of that, you actually get to see a lot of our content early, or even extra content that is never going to be on YouTube. There's a lot of stuff over there that is just for our Patreon people, including full live streams that are more than just what you're seeing here on YouTube. So if you're interested in that, we'd love to have you over there. And of course, let's continue on with the video. Romans chapter 16, Romans obviously written by Paul, the apostle. Later on, he says, I commend to you our sister Phoebe, a servant of the church at Cenchreae. I don't know how to pronounce that at all, so I'm sorry about that. That you may welcome her in the Lord in a way worthy of the saints and help her in whatever she may need from you. For she has been a patron of many and of myself as well. So that's all we get, this section right here. That's all we get of Phoebe from the New Testament. So could this potentially be Phoebe? Maybe. I would say there's like a 50% chance that it could be the same person, but there's a couple of things that kind of throw me off about it, right? Number one, we know that she is Roman. The Phoebe in The Chosen, at least, is Roman because she has this beautiful Roman atrium here. She has all this Roman iconography. And in the behind the scenes, we've even seen a discussion between Jesus and the Apostle John where they talk about all this Roman iconography that's in this space. There's even ancient Egyptian relics here as well, I believe, in this space here. So this definitely would not be a Jewish abode. Now, in the scripture, do we know that this Phoebe is Jewish? No, we don't. Most likely she's part of the early church, and most likely she's probably, well, we don't really know. I can't say that she's probably Jewish or probably Roman, but where is this? Let's talk about that next. Where is this place right here? However you pronounce it. Cenchreae is probably how I would say it. It is right on the edge of Corinth, essentially. This is one of the docking stations, or one of the docks, one of the bays of Corinth. And so this would have been a place where a lot of different goods would have come in from the eastern side of Corinth. and we would have seen a lot of things kind of happening there. Corinth itself was a boat city. There was kind of ports on either side of it, and a lot of different seamen and travelers would come through this area, and they would partake in what Corinth had for it as well. If you've ever been to Corinth, I got to go there in the beginning of 2023. There's some really beautiful stuff there. It's a pretty big city, as well as a large temple on top of the mountain nearby, I believe to the goddess Aphrodite. So it was basically a love temple, if you get what I mean there. Very interesting stuff for sure. But since this is a obviously Greek location, there probably wouldn't be very many Jews here, and for sure not like, someone who I think would be like, the cornerstone of Jewish people, like that what we find in Jerusalem and in Israel proper, right? So that being said, maybe they could be connected because of that. So if this is the same Phoebe, I would expect for her to be relatively young in The Chosen at this time, because this part in Romans wouldn't have happened until nearly the very end of Paul's life, and so it would have been like way later. So, I mean, I'm trying to do the math in my head, but my guess would be like something like 20 to 25 years after the death and resurrection of Christ. This would be something like that. Maybe even more than that. So she would have to be pretty young in order to still be serving the church during this time, would be my guess. So yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to point this out. Hear your thoughts about it. What do you think? Is it plausible that this could be the same Phoebe that we're seeing in Romans chapter 16, or is this something else entirely? I'm not sure. Is it just a random person that's connected to Joanna in order to allow her to kind of become part of the group and give her value to the group in order to allow her to come in? Because remember, Joanna is going to be traveling with the group in season 5. She is like part of the girls' team, right? While they're not obviously traveling very far, they're going from Bethany to Jerusalem, back to Bethany, and we see that kind of in the behind the scenes of season 5, but she's obviously going to be part of the group there, traveling with them, doing walk and talks with them, different things like that. So I wonder if this is just her into that. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Phoebe, though. Phoebe's house. We'll see it soon. I'm assuming we'll see it within the first couple episodes of The Chosen, would be my guess, season 5. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.